Guys, hi Jovan. Hi Estelle. Hi Vashti. How are you guys?
Hi. How you doing? Very well.
Thank you. So my uni flatmate, Rufia over here, she had a question for you guys.
Hi guys. So basically my question is, how have you dealt with setbacks in the industry and how have you been able to overcome them?
Very good question. So I think setbacks, how we've dealt with, so myself and Percy, we've had many setbacks, many situations, can't count them on two hands, couldn't count them on four. We've had a lot of setbacks, as I think everyone has, really. And I think the way that we have dealt with them is the understanding that it's a process. I think everything that happens, right, and the way to always look at something is always a shift of perspective. The reason why you look at something in a certain way and I look at something in a certain way is only based on our perspective. Is a glass half full? Is it half empty? That's based on the way that you see it. So even when you look at a setback, we talk about failures and we talk about losses and we talk about taking an L, right? But what does it actually mean to take an L? If I told you that, okay, in order for you to be able to, direct this movie, you're going to have to make 7 or 100 mistakes so that you could learn what it means to do something right, so that when it comes to the big stage, you know exactly what you were doing. When you were going through those losses or those mistakes in which were taking place, you wouldn't mind. You would be like, oh, cool, well, this is nothing bad. This is just a learning experience. I'm just in school. When you're in school, when you're going through and you're doing a test or you're learning and you get a test answer wrong, you don't look at it and say, oh, this is the end of the world. You just find out what the right answer was. And then when you retake the test, now you know what it was. But you had to go on that experience and you had to have that experience in order for you to look at it in that way and learn from that mistake to be able to then take that test and do it properly. I see all of these L's and all of these different situations and setbacks as lessons, as opportunity for me to be able to grow and become the person in which I need to be in order to then pursue and do what I want. You asked for something specific. I want to be in Hollywood. I want to be an actress and I want to be in great movies. Okay, well, what if I told you you're not ready for that? And what would make you ready for that is that you need to do 5 short films, and then you need to do 4 TV shows, and then you need to do 3 independent movies, and then you'll be ready. Then you'll stop being frustrated that when you're going up for these massive Hollywood blockbusters and you're not getting them, you wouldn't feel any type of way because you realize that, okay, this is not a problem. This is just a process. And so it's about identifying and looking at something that you would deem as a problem and realizing, no, this is not a problem. It's just a process. So when we go through these setbacks, let's just position our mind and our perspective a little bit differently to understand that, okay, I need to go through this. And don't get it twisted. Do everything in your power in order to be able to, make sure you're in the position of progress and of power and to be able to do the right thing and put you in that position. But take it with a pinch of salt because you're going to go through these things and it's natural and it's actually beneficial because if you got everything right when you knew nothing, then how would you be able to do anything properly? You'd be doing a lot of stuff that you know nothing about. So go through this process and learn about what it is that you need to go through. And those things happen and they take forms and shapes in what we call mistakes or lessons or L's. So yeah, I think that's how I personally look at setbacks. It's all down to the perspective. P?
And just something that we used to do between myself, Jovan and Dee. We sometimes sit in a room, the kitchen at Jovan's house, and we'd laugh. We'd actually just try and find jokes around the setback that just happened. Like basically just you understand when we did that as well. You just realize how small and insignificant that thing is. That thing can't. I'm gonna laugh at this thing that is an L, and we're gonna laugh about that, and then afterwards we just be like, yeah, man, that has no weight and status over what happens next. We know that that's just a moment that is supposed to happen, like Jovan said, and it's this thing about if you're a believer of everything happens for a reason, and this thing about coincidence, I believe that every setback, that we had was a part of our journey. We had to go through that long route because, it was important that we had to go and learn how you hold a camera and edit and do this and do this and do this. All of these skill sets that we picked up, that would never have happened. That would never have happened had we not had the setback. If Youngers and Channel 4, if they gave us our TV show, we would never have learned all the stuff, all the magical stuff that we know now. 100% guarantee you. And that's why we survived today, is because we have that know-how, because we just took that perspective and ran with it completely differently.
even down to, sorry, I just want to add to that, even down to, you know, Man on the Wall, right? And we birthed our own show and created and produced our own show on YouTube, put it out there. We done that because we wasn't getting the roles that we wanted. We could have looked at that as the setback, as the L. I'm not getting cast in the movies or the TV shows that I want. But then that positioned us in a way to then say, okay, because I'm not doing that, what's the solution? I'm going to go and make my own show. We make our own show, but that's actually what was meant to happen, because now we have our own production company, and we would have just been just actors. We would have never been, you know, creating and having any companies or being in any position to be able to do anything like what we're doing now, had we just booked the first role that we went for and then just been on this acting journey like some of our counterparts and some of our friends, and which is great for them because they're like, look, all I want to do is act. But I and Percy picked up a love for producing and creating and making our own work and telling stories and being able to deliver messages. And had we not had that L, then we would never be in the position we're in now. So now every L that we take or every L that happens, we look at it and we say, oh, okay, this is great. Oh, this is setting up. Oh, this is wicked. You know why this is wicked? We didn't get that show because we're setting up our own show, because we're going to have our own production company in 4 years. So God wants to teach us how to create and how to make our own show from scratch, so that when we get to the big stage, we're able to do that. You know what I mean? So it's just perspective, and taking that on board will help you tremendously.